Bigger, craftier, swifter, and with more punch, the winning is back. But unlike the previous game, Shadow Warrior 2 is less of a serious Sam and old school FPS mix and more of a loot shooter with randomized levels. Like Torchlight was to Diablo, Shadow Warrior 2 is to Borderlands, for better and for worse. The game is fun. It's hard to describe how fast, fun, stupid and exciting it is until you actually try it. It's not a linear arena-based shooter anymore, so you fly across the map with double jumps and almost instant infinite dashes, stopping to kill some enemies along the way for some stuff and experience. Even doing quests is fast. You can just take on a side mission, speedrun through the level in a minute or two, do what you need and instantly teleport back to town to complete it. No time wasted, just a core fun. This is probably also the best loot-based FPS I've ever played, as you rarely need to care about loot and never have to grind, and the enemies, especially on normal, never feel bullet sponge enough to be boring. So you can hack, slash and shoot your way as you want because you want it. The level randomization for every side mission is also surprisingly good, despite me not usually liking the idea. While it lacks some of the good stylistic seriousness points of the previous game, it's campy and stupid and it knows it and embraces it. It tries being Saints Row 4 without being as cleverly written, and mostly succeeds in its own way. And damn, how I missed FPS protagonists who say random quips as you play. I also need to mention how surprisingly beautiful and yet well optimized the game is. Most of the serious issues, and there weren't that many, were fixed in about a day, and yet another patch came out as I was preparing this review with more fixes and rebalancing. Oh, and the soundtrack is kick-ass. And speaking of this new patch, I plan to mention that the game is stupidly easy, in a fun way in my opinion, but some people could be disappointed. After the patch though, it's less stupid. I don't know if it's good or bad really, as this rebalancing might kill off the silly speedrun feel of the game and turn it in yet another grindy loot shooter. Also surprising is how pointless a lot of loot and some of the weapons are. I can't call this a bad thing, because if those things were important, something you'd need to care about, the game would become slow and boring. But even after the rebalancing patch, it seems better to just slash with melee most of the time, sometimes switching to other weapons in rare cases. Another not that great thing is that despite the awesome visual style and pretty cool randomization, there are essentially only 4 types of level tile sets, and there's only that much you can do with that before it gets boring. The game is not too long, which is good, but levels can become a bit boring by the end. Now I know that I just said that I liked how the game was not long, but there's one thing about it that's not well done. The fact that the game has essentially no ending at all, it just ends. It's not a story-driven game, so it's not the story that's the issue, but more the blatant promise of more cool things happening that needs to be happening now, but will instead happen in some DLC or sequel. Also at the time of this review, the game lacks any kind of built-in co-op communication tools, which is just strange. Most people use external software anyway, of course, but the lack of even basic text chat is just not smart for the game that was marketed as a co-op shooter. In the end though, I loved how fast the game was, I loved how fun it was. There's certain low budgetness to it and the game had some issues, but also has so much excitement, so much wang that will fill you up and bring much joy.
Shadow Warrior 2, as Lo Wang puts it himself, is a tsunami of stupid, a tsunami you will want to ride.
Nothing says stop. It's Christmas. Say it with lead shot.